Good. The second one is, let me see, I see it moving now that you just did whatever you did. So we might have sound. Do we have sound? If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Lot, you bear with us, Israel. Working out some kinks with the sound. Bear with me, please, Israel.
All right, we got 1.
Got a 1 in the chat. Okay, we have sound. All right, let's take it back to the top. Clap it up. Shalom, Israel, once again. This is the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commanding General Yohana, and since 1969, we've been bringing you this truth. And that truth is this: the black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, you are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are God's chosen people, very special people unto the Most High God, chosen to be above the rest of the nations on the face of the earth. Tonight is a Tuesday night brotherhood class, and the topic of our class tonight is this. It is how to be a loving spouse and parent. How to be a loving spouse and parent, which I think is a very important discussion that needs to be had in the black community, in the Native American community, in the Hispanic community. Very important discussion needs to be had because our people seem to have forgotten what it is to be a good husband. Our men, I'm talking to the brothers. We've forgotten what it is to be a good husband. Not only are we not being good husbands, you see in most cases we're not husbands at all. Our sisters, we have forgotten what it is to be a good wife. Not only do you see our sisters not being quote unquote good wives, you see our sisters not being wives at all. You see our sisters going into I'm trying to think of a clean way to say it. You see our sisters going into thought culture. Is that okay? That's to thought culture. Okay. You see our sisters going into thought culture. You see our men, our brothers, we have took on the good word for our brothers. We've taken on a gang culture, a street culture. These N-words can't F with me type culture. I can F your B type culture. All these things that we have taken on and allowed to define us as a people are not of the Most High. These things come from the enemy. They've given us these ideas. These ideas are not original. Sisters, I'm sorry to tell you, you think that you are an independent woman. You think that you are a boss B. You ain't tell yourself that. Your enemy told you that. It was strategic. He implanted it into your mind. He brainwashed you into believing that you are a boss B and can't nobody tell you S-H-I-T. Damn, every word I want to say almost a curse word. Salaki Israel. But it's the seriousness of the matter. It makes me bring out strong language. Sisters, you are not a boss B. You were never intended to be a thought. Fellas, you were never intended to be a gangbanger and destroy your community. Why would you want to be the one to destroy your community when you have all of these other nations who are hell-bent on destroying your community? Or maybe you didn't realize that. Maybe you didn't realize that all of the other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel that's up here on this chart, all these other nations are hell-bent on destroying your community. Everything that they give you is for your own detriment. It's for your destruction. Understand that the drugs that we use in our community, you might see black men on the corner selling these drugs, but black men ain't manufacturing these drugs at all. These drugs are coming from the other nations. You might see our sisters come out here with this thought culture. They didn't come up with this. This mindset came from the other nations. Our people are holy people. We follow thus says the Lord. That's what we've always done, but we've forgotten that. And my prayer is that in class today, that this will serve as a reminder for us to get back to who we are as a people, as a holy people unto the Most High. And that we can get away from this this culture that is destroying our people and get back to what the Most High has for us to be holy and be above these other nations. We can't do both. We can't be children of the Most High and follow him and also follow thought culture. And we can't follow the Most High and also follow gang culture. You can't be a friend of the world. What's that? Let me get that. It wasn't a part of my plan, but what is it? So, one more time, sir. James, give me James 4:4, please. And throw that in there. You cannot be all up in this world, being in the mix, trying to be like everybody else, and also be, a follower of the Most High. Khan, sir.
This is James chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteress.
Ye adulterers and adulteress. Being an adulterer and an adulteress, you know what that is. That's when you step outside your marriage or your union with your spouse. But also when you step outside your union with the Most High. You have to remember that we are married unto the Most High. So he is a husband unto our people. So keep that in mind when reading James 4:4. Continue, Baba Kasha.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world.
Don't you know that the friendship of the world, you trying to do what the world wants you to do. You trying to be a boss B because the world is promoting Bad Girls Club and Baddies East and Baddies South. And you trying to be a gang banger and a drug dealer because the world is promoting gangster rap music to you. You trying to do all those things. Know this. Continue, sir.
That the world is enmity with God.
The world is enmity with God. The world is against God. You can't do both. You got to pick a side. It's a battle out here. You can't straddle the fence. This is war. Life is about war. There's no way that you can fight on both sides for both armies. You understand that? In World War I, we had the North and the South. You can't put on a Confederate uniform and fight with the South when they trying to keep the black man in chains, and then tomorrow go and fight with the North and free the South, and then come back and fight with the South the next day. You got to pick a side. Life is about war. Pick a side. Read that again from the top, Bob Kasha.
James chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteress.
Ye adulterers and adulteress. You want to step outside on the Most High.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world.
The friendship of the world
is enmity with God.
You're a friend of the world. You're against the Most High God. Is there more on that, sir?
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world.
Whosoever want to go out there and do what the world want them to do. You want to fit in. You want to be like everybody else. You want to be a Blood. You want to be a Crip. You want to be BGF. You want to be with the cool people. You want to be with the cool folks. Huh? You want to be East Indian like your possible next president, Kamala Harris. You want to be like her. Huh? You want to be like the Egyptians. You want to tattoo an ankh on your chest. You want to play with crystals. That's what you want to do? You want to be woke and put an all-seeing eye on your body and tattoo pyramids. You're a joke. And get dreadlocks. And smoke all the weed like a Rastafari. They got that from the East Indians. You are a joke. You're not serious. Nobody takes you serious. You cannot be in both armies. Pick a side. Continue, sir.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
The friend of God.
The enemy of God.
The buddy of God.
The enemy of God.
The dude that's cool with God, you know what I mean, when it count.
The enemy of God.
The Bible said you are an enemy of God. And that's what you are. You are enemy of God. And I don't think that that's a person that you want to be an enemy of. You don't understand God, Most High. He ain't something that you want to play with. He is a man of war.
Right.
He's a loving father, and because he loves us, he will chastise us. And he has chastised us for our disobedience and our bad behavior. But sticking to the topic, we're going to get back to this tonight. We're going to have a conversation about what it takes for you to be a loving spouse, a loving husband, a loving wife, and raise up good children in this world. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Con, sir, that would be Proverbs 22 and verse 6. We're gonna look into the Bible and see what the Most High says. How are we supposed to raise these children? We look outside in our communities, black man. What we're saying from our children, it ain't a good sight. It's not. You gotta call a spade a spade. Our children ain't doing too well right now. Our children are out here, and they have become the oppressors in the neighborhood. You have folks that are grown adults that have been living in their community for their entire lives, who no longer feel comfortable walking to the corner store. You know why? Not because Esau is riding through the neighborhood with white hoods and horses and trying to lynch you. Our folks don't want to walk to the corner store because of our own children standing in front of the store, 15, 20 deep, indulging in all of the wicked ways of the world, being gangsters, gangbangers, and drug dealers. Our children have become a terror to our people. And I don't charge the children as much as I charge the adults, because it's because us as husbands, as wives, as parents, we have dropped the ball. We've dropped the ball. We haven't done what the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Read that if you got it, sir.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child.
The Bible says to train up a child. Train up a child. That's a strong word, to train up a child. I know some people don't like that word. They don't think that you're supposed to train your children. A lot of men, they don't think you're supposed to train your wives. But the Bible says train up a child. A lot of men don't think that they should be trained up. You know, they don't want somebody to be strong in how they teach and to drill things to them and make sure it sticks. Training that's different from just teaching. You got to understand that's a heavy word. I'm straight, sir. Continue with that for me, sir, please. Baba Kasha.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Train up a child in the way he should go. Let's think about training. I'm gonna stay on that word. Training up a child. Let's think of some successful folks that training has gotten them to where they are. We're in Baltimore, so let's talk about Baltimore's own Javante Tank Davis, our hometown hero right now. 30 wins, 0 losses, I believe. I think 28 of them by knockout, if I'm not mistaken. I think 28 of his 30 wins by knockout. How do you think that he became so powerful, so technically sound in the ring, so intelligent? And the man developed, I think, lead paint poison as a child. They said he has a hard time thinking. How do you think that he's able to outthink all of the people that he faced so far, all 30 boxers, and knock 28 of them out cold? You know why? Because of Calvin Ford, his trainer. See, they didn't walk into the gym and put on the gloves and shadow box for 10 minutes and then go home. And then come back 2 weeks later and come in and shadow box for a few minutes and then go home. And then on the weekend, watch a fight on TV. That's not training him. He got so good because he got in that gym when he was a kid, a little boy, I think about 5 years old. And he put the gloves on, and he hit the heavy bag all day long. He hit the speed bag all day long. He dropped down and did 100 push-ups, 5 years old, 10 years old, 300 push-ups. That's training. That's every day. Discipline. It's not easy to be that disciplined. You got to put work in. That's training. He trained that man, and that man became who he is today, a world champion. 30 wins, 28 by knockout. Baltimore's hometown hero when it comes to boxing. That's training a child. And the Most High said that's what you got to do with your children. You want your children to be good kids out here in this world, you're going to have to train these children. You can't tell them wrong from right every now and then. You told them, you corrected them on Friday and you let them slip up and do them over the weekend. It ain't going to work like that. You're going to have to correct them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Every time that they go wrong, every time they step out of line, you're going to have to put them right back in their place. You're going to have to be on their backs. That's training up a child. Read it again for me, Baba Kashaw.
Yes. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
You train him up in the way that he should go. Why we do that? Continue.
And when he is old,
so when he becomes old,
he will not depart from it.
He will not depart from it. When he becomes a grown man or a grown woman and he's faced with the challenges that you have been faced with when you was a young adult and you failed. Let's just call a spade a spade. The challenges that you were faced with when you were a young adult that you failed at because your parents didn't train you up. They didn't train you up properly. So when you became, what the Bible said, when you became old and you were approached by the dope man who told you he could help you get money and he put a pack in your hand and a gun in your hand, you didn't know how to turn him down because you wasn't trained up in the way that you should go. You understand? As a woman, when your money got low and then your homegirl said, girl, we can get money down here at the shake joint. Come down there, you don't even need an ID. Though you're not 18 years old, they ain't going to check for the ID. I'm going to tell them you my cousin. You come down here and take your clothes off for a couple hours. On stage, you're going to leave out with a couple $100. The reason why you fell for that, sisters, the reason why you did that is because you was not trained up in the way that you should go. You got to understand it. You got something, sir?
Christian church is the reason why our women and even the brothers don't know how to be husband and wives because
Carnival come.
We've been trained up from the Christian church that if they don't have a ring on their finger, that's not your husband, that's not your wife. You gotta be
Carnival come.
like nobody starts to institute a real relationship until they get engaged, maybe.
Carnival come.
At that point, you just be engaged to a bunch of monsters.
Carnival come.
This is a heavy topic, bro.
I don't know if you can hear what the officer is bringing out, and that's so dynamic what you're bringing out, sir. I don't know if you can hear him, but I'm gonna reiterate just in case, because I know we've been having some mic problems. We charge the Christian church for that. That's the Christian church fault. That's exactly where that comes from, where that mindset comes from. You don't gotta listen to anybody, or there ain't no ring on your finger. And then you see what's happening now. You see our people that don't want to walk to the corner store, afraid of the children. Just standing. You don't know what these kids are going to do. You don't know. You don't even want to park your car outside because the kid boys are out. That's what's going on. It ain't just going on in Baltimore. That's going on in every major city where our people dwell. That's what's happening. Our children have not been trained up in the way that they should go. So it's easy for them to become lesbians and transformers and yeah, clean that word up, transformers. I should have cleaned up the L word too. The L word, I'm going to say alternative lifestyle. There we go. I don't want to get kicked off the air. Alternative lifestyle. It's easy for them to fall for that because they haven't been trained up in the way they should go. It's easy for us to keep filling up the prisons. Understand that, just speaking just to black people right now, I think we're only making up about 12% of the population in the United States of America. 12% of the population, but we make up more than 2/3 of the prison population. How lopsided is that? That's because our children ain't trained up in the way they should go. We've fallen for all of these vices that the enemy put out here to keep our people down. And the overall structure of how things are supposed to be done ain't being done. Think about these children. Think about our little girls for a minute. This is something that absolutely disgusts me every time I see it. Every time I'm driving down the street and I see one of our little princesses put their phone on the ground or sit it up against the wall, and then they start they start dancing around doing these TikTok dances. You notice that every one of these TikTok dances got something to do with a wiggle of the hip, a little bit of a twerk in it. Y'all notice that, or is it just me that notices that? Every one of these dances these little girls are doing, it's too grown for a child to be doing. And I think every man understands that. The people who are not the ones that I'm not just charging you sisters because it's not your fault solely. This is a together problem that we have. Our sisters not recognizing it. You're not seeing your child going down that same path that you went down. You're not seeing it. You look at your little 5-year-old daughter and you see how pretty she is and how innocent she is, and you don't think that she is going to be anything like you. You don't think that she's going to have 3 baby daddies like you have 3 baby daddies. You don't think that her body count is going to be through the roof. You don't think that she's ever going to sell herself. You don't think it. But she's going down the same path that you went down because you ain't training it up properly and you don't have a man in the household. You got something, Cap? Say it again, sir. Yeah, the Cap said she's going to have more. She's going to have more than just your eyes. Soon. You just keep watching. And you don't get that father back in the household. It's important to have that man in the household. That man has an eye that you don't have. There are things that a woman can see that we can't see. And there's things that we can see that the woman can't see. That's why the Most High wants us to come together. It's a good thing when we come together because that creates something bigger. No, I can't do the job by myself as just a father, and you surely can't do the job by yourself as just a mother. That is highly not recommended. Though there are some exceptions to the rule. That's what y'all always like to bring out. Well, LeBron James didn't have a daddy, and look at him today. He's a role model. He's the best player in the NBA. They're calling him the GOAT. Yeah, now for every one LeBron James, go down to jail. Look at the statistics and see how 10%, us just being 10 to 12% of this population, making up more than 2/3 of the prison population. The prison population runs like an average of 3.6, 3.8 million people per year. Those are big numbers. And it's lopsided in our favor. We're the ones failing. In a lot of these situations, because there is not a righteous man in the household. Give me the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27. Book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27.
Mark, chapter 3, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. When you got a strong man in that house, that household is protected. Continue, sir.
And spoil his goods.
And spoil his goods. What are a man's goods in his house? Huh? What's important to the man in his house? Let me tell you what's important in all the men I know house. It's that woman that's in the house. It's your rib. And it's your children. It's your seed. Those are the most important things in your house as a man. The big screen TV is cool on Sundays when you're watching football. But if there's a fire in that house and you got to save something, you're going to save your children and your wife before you save the PlayStation 5 and your big screen TV. You better believe it. That's a man's goods in his house. Read that again from the top, sir.
Yeah. No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Mm-hmm.
And spoil his goods.
And spoil his goods. And unless what happens? How can you enter into a strong man's house and destroy his goods, spoil his goods, destroy his wife, and destroy his children? Continue, sir.
Except he will first bind the strong man.
Except he will first bind the strong man. You know how you bind the strong man? You know how the strong man is being binded right now in the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community? I'm going to tell you a couple of ways he's being bonded right now. He's fallen for the illusion that the only way that he can support his family is by going out and breaking the law. And then eventually he gets caught and he goes to jail. He's now binded. You're not in the house. You can't protect over your house while you're incarcerated. Or you go out in the street and because of the crimes that you commit, it comes back around full circle and you're unalived. You're no longer there to protect the important things in your house. Your goods. That's how the strong man gets binded up today. Child support system. You ladies being taught that you are above the man. You don't have to listen to anything that he says. He says one thing, you say two things. Now y'all bumping heads. Next thing you know, you putting them out the house. Next thing you know, now your house is not being, it's no coverage. There's no strong man there to stop certain things from entering into the house and not only destroying the children, but destroying you too, sister. That's what's happening out here. Is there more on that, sir?
And then he will spoil his house.
And then he will spoil his house. The enemy will spoil the house after the strong man is binded up. And that's happening so much out here. Drug addiction is binding a strong man. Y'all not tired of it yet? Y'all don't see it? I pray that what I'm saying, I pray you can visualize it. Because everybody got that good man, that man in your family that you love so much. The life of the party. Everybody loves when Uncle such and such comes around. Next thing you know, Uncle such and such is strung out. Now you're giving him $1 every time you see him. You fixing him a plate trying to make sure he eat. Possibly having him move into your home because he can't keep a roof over his own head. And now his mind is so destroyed because of the drugs that he's taken. Now he's not the same person anymore. Now having him in the house with your children, need I say more? What's going on out here? Serious business. The strong man in our community is being binded and his goods are being spoiled. It's up to us to learn these laws, these statutes, and these commandments. Get this wisdom out of the Bible so that we can stop falling for these tricks of our oppressor, of our enemy, of these demons out here. Because they're attacking hard, and they're destroying our people. There is an order. Go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. There is an order out here. That order is important. It was important when it was written by the prophets, when it was put into the Holy Bible, and it's still important today, regardless to what your oppressor tells you. Your oppressor is telling you that 1 Corinthians 11 and 3 is not important anymore because he wants you to be destroyed. That's what he wants. He don't want you in order. He don't want your house protected. He don't want your children to be raised to be good children. He definitely don't want them coming to the ISUPK, becoming priests and prophets of the Lord and fixing his community. That's not what he wants. He wants them in jail, addicted to drugs. He wants your daughters to be 403s, 304s, thoughts. I'm trying to clean it up, but I got much harsher words I would like to say because that's what's happening out here. You got that, sir?
Another thing, I think what makes a man not a strong man, like what starts to eliminate a man's strength is trying to be a progressive man. To be a progressive man, and you with whatever changes that the world go through. Part of it says it's okay for a little boy to feel like he's a girl on the inside and go ahead and make a change. Like that right there, that's one of the things that takes away a man's strength.
Takes away a man's strength. Binds a man. You're so right, sir. You are so right. They have so many tricks out here to bind a strong man that is ridiculous. I did a test with my own child one time just to see how smart a 5 or 6 year, I can't remember how old she was, but she don't like to go to sleep at nighttime. That's not something that she likes. She would stay up all night, every night if she could. And because it was such a fight, and she had to get spankings because I'm not against discipline. I do what the Most High say. I don't spare the rod in my house. She had to get some spankings to teach her some lessons. But one day I said, I'm going to teach her a different way this night. I said, baby, you know how important sleep is. You get some sleep, you'll have energy for school tomorrow, and you'll be able to concentrate. You go to school, you can concentrate, you can think good, you'll get good grades. That's why sleep is important. But you don't like going to sleep, so if you would like to stay up all night, baby, go ahead and stay up all night. But what you will do is get up when that alarm goes off like normal, and I expect the same that I get out of you every day in school. I expect you to go in there, listen to your teacher, get your work done, get good grades, be respectful. I expect all the same things. But if you want to stay up, you go ahead and stay up. I'm going to let you make that decision. I was just testing her out. She was around 5, 6 years old. I wanted to see how smart she was. And she decided, yeah, I can stay up and I can still go to school. I let her do it. She was miserable. I contacted the teacher and let the teacher know what was going on. Do not let her go to sleep. Make her stay up all day. She came home. She was almost falling asleep on her feet. She was miserable. She came home to homework and to chores. That's what she did. She didn't come home and go to bed. She came home, she stayed up for the rest of the day. She begged me for sleep the next day. We haven't had that problem since. You understand? Strong discipline. That's why a man needs to be in the household, ladies. Because these are things that you're not going to see these things. You're not going to be able to act in that manner because it seems harsh. But that's love. That's how the Most High does us, because he loves us. So I'm following that order. You understand? I'm training up my children in the way that they should go. That's what we should all be doing. Give me that 1 Corinthians 11:3, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The Most High wants you to know the order of things. The head of every man is Christ. Don't think that men just out here doing what we want to do. Not priests and prophets of the Lord. We don't do what we just want to do. Lie, sir. That's just the schools. We don't do just what we want to do. I don't march to the beat of my own drum. Understand that. Priests and prophets of the Lord, these men you see in the ISUPK, we follow orders. If you're a 50 rank and somebody's a 500 rank tells you to do something, you just say con one con and you do it. You're a 500 and you got 1,000 giving you an order, we follow the order. A general comes into the building, we follow the orders. That's what we do. And moreover, when it comes to this Bible, our head is Yahweh Shah, or Christ.
That's right.
We do what he says to do. That's how we move here. There's an order, and this order is important. Continue with that order.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So the head of the man is Christ. So men, we have to follow after Christ, and then the woman, you follow after the man. It's not my words, but I can tell you, I've watched women who don't want to follow behind their man, and I watch them have fun not following behind their man. I watch them find some joy in their life and some peace in their life for a small time, not following behind their man. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you give it enough time, they regret it. They regret not following behind their man. When they get in a divorce, they regret it. When they're sleeping alone every night, they regret it. Believe me. When you have Billy in your bed Monday and Joseph in your bed Friday, you begin to feel like trying to clean up my language. You begin to feel like that the whore you are. Can I say that? What's a better word for that? You begin to feel like that promiscuous harlot that you are. Better word. You begin to feel like that after a while. Just being single, having fun. You get up in your old age, you start getting a little lonely. Then you start looking back at those choices and wishing that you had kept that man around and kept your family intact. There's a reason that the Most High gave us everything that he gave us in this Bible. Continue that, sir.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So understand this, even Christ, he has to take orders. Christ takes orders from the Most High God. We take orders as men from Christ. And women, you should take orders from your man, from the man. Especially if your man is a priest and prophet of the Lord and ISUPK. Especially. Especially. Drop that and give me Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 26. Chapter 26, and we're going to begin at verse 10.
Ecclesiasticus
26
verse 10.
and verse 10.
If thy daughter be shameless.
If thy daughter be shameless in how she dresses. You understand? Showing everything she got. Underboob out. That's a new thing. Wearing your little sports tops and your bras too small so the bottom of your breasts are exposed. Good night. You might as well take it off and just be nude. And you are doing that. You're doing that. You're wearing see-through shirts. And you go and you get your stuff pierced and you want everybody to see your piercing. Shameless in how you dress. Shameless in also the way that you talk. Every word that come out your mouth. Be this, be that. Loud. Selling yourself for a few dollars. You ain't making that much money on OnlyFans. Go get a job, sis. Showing everybody everything you got. and then have children have to grow up one day. You're not thinking about what the children are going to think when they grow up and their best friend, you got little boys and his best friend digs up the dirt on your mother. I'm only imagining my friend saying, I seen your mother having a train ran on her. How are we supposed to, how are your children supposed to live with those decisions that you're making? Being shameless. Take that from the top again, sir.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her straight.
Keep her straightly. If your child, if your daughter starts to become shameless and exude these behaviors, keep her straightly. Be strict. You got to be strict on her. You got to make sure that you get that little girl right. And you got to get her right early. You got to do it now. More now than later. Continue, sir.
Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. You know what it is? You know what overmuch liberty is? Overmuch liberty. That would be too much freedom. That's overmuch liberty. You know, when the women's movement was going on, when the Edomite women, they wanted liberty, and justice and equality. They wanted to challenge the man. That wasn't a part of our movement, but they sucked our sisters into it. They got our sisters to follow behind. Our sisters they abused herself. That's what the word said. Lest she abuse herself because she got too much freedom. She got so much freedom now. She's putting all the smoke in her. She throwing all the pills back. She in the parties and she from bed to bed to bed. She gets so numb to having different men enter her body that now she can just sell it. And she's comfortable being a harlot. You got something, sir?
Like that's always been the oppressors, their way of coming up.
Always been.
I was in CVS, and it was a song came on. It's a oppressor song. It's a pretty popular song. I don't know the name of it, but the lyrics go like, the good thing about being a woman is to having, what is the prerogative to have a little fun or something like or something like that. It's like the whole song was just talking about just being free and being able to do what you want as a woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like not like work-wise.
Right.
Having fun.
Having fun.
Being a dummy.
Being a dummy. And our sisters have taken on this culture from these oppressors. Trust me, they are the original harlots. They are the original alternative lifestyle livers. That's a part of their culture. That's not a part of our culture. They do these things and they are still successful. Because these laws, statutes, and commandments weren't given to them. So the punishments, they ain't going to receive them for breaking these laws, not right now. But we are. We've entered into a contract with the Most High. Whether you believe it or not. We go out here and we follow these other nations and we want to be harlots like them. The Most High got things coming down the pipeline for us. AIDS. You got something? Young man got something. How old are you, sir? 7 years old. Give that young man a hand. 7 years old. This is what we're raising up in the ISUPK. I don't know if you heard him. He said, people don't want to listen to priests and prophets of the Lord in the ISUPK. You don't. You don't. This is a 7-year-old telling you this. You don't want to listen. Give it a little while. Give it a little while, and you're going to regret not listening. Keep sleeping around. And them bumps start showing up down there in between your legs, and they won't go away, and they popping open, they painful. Go get that blood work done. And they say that blood is tainted for the rest of your life, and your life is going to be cut short. It's happening at alarming rates. Matter of fact, sidebar. Y'all got that with the Officer Batak sent to the group chat? Let me bring that out. Perfect sidebar. Keep not listening. Keep not listening to the priests and the prophets of the Lord in the ISUPK. This is Baltimore City. Somebody said this earlier. A priest, Batak. I'm just reading a little excerpt here. It says, Baltimore faces an STI emergency. The city's rates for sexually transmitted infections are 3 times higher than Maryland's or the entire nation's. Going a little bit deeper into it, I think they closed down, or they're not treating people that Baltimore's famous 1515. They don't have medicine to even treat people anymore. You coming in there, and every time you go to the bathroom, your rod is on fire. They can't even give you pills to put the fire out anymore. They got to try to send you off somewhere else to get some help. That's what's going on. That's because our people, we out here, we being shameless. We're not following the Most High. We out here following all the wicked ways of the world. Our women, our sisters, you want all this liberty, you want all this freedom, and it's absolutely destroying our people. Absolutely destroying our people. Where was we at? I think we were at.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. Take it from the top, sir. Bob Shaw.
If thy daughter be shameless,
If thy daughter be shameless,
keep her straightly.
be strict. You better fix it now, because the longer you wait, the harder that battle is going to be. Continue, sir.
Lest she abuse herself.
Because she will abuse herself if she's given what?
Through overmuch liberty.
With too much freedom, thinking she can make up her own mind. The mind, the heart is desperately wicked. That's in the Bible too. I don't know where that's at, but that's in the Bible. That's in the Word. The heart is desperately wicked. Let me find that. The heart is desperately wicked. You want to march to the beat of your own drum. You want to follow your heart. You got it, sir? Bring that out. You want to follow your own heart. You don't want to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. You think you got it figured out. You don't think that you need anybody to tell you anything. Your husband can't tell you anything. None of the priests and prophets in the ISUPK, they can't tell you anything. Your father couldn't tell you anything. You got it figured out, right? What did the Most High say about that?
This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful of all things.
The heart is synonymous with your mind. Understand that. That's the same thing. When they say the heart, they're talking about your mind. You want to march to the beat of your own drum? Your heart, your mind is deceitful. Deceitful what?
Above all things.
That's the most deceitful thing out here. Above all things that's deceitful is your mind. That's the most deceitful thing out here. Continue, sir.
And desperately
wicked. Desperately wicked.
Who can know it?
Who can know it? The priests and prophets in the ISUPK know it. Take heed to what we're telling you. Keep marching to the beat of your own drum. Your heart is going to deceive you because it's desperately wicked above all things. Let's get back to where we were in Ecclesiasticus 26. We should be at verse 11 now, I believe.
Yeah.
Give me that when you got it, sir.
Watch over an impudent eye.
Watch over an impudent eye. Impudent. You probably don't know that word, impudent. I didn't know that word at first. I had to look it up myself. That word is a person that doesn't show a lot of respect. You don't show respect in the way that you talk, the way that you act in front of elders and your superiors. You don't show respect to your own self, to your own body. When you're out in public, you have no problem lifting up your skirt and bending over, twerking your butt so you can show off for social media for likes, so men can start throwing shots at you. Huh? The word says, watch over an impudent eye. Continue, sir. 8 verse 11. 11, sir. Watch
over an impudent eye.
Watch over the impudent, disrespectful eye.
And marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Don't look at her and think that what she's doing is something slick. Don't marvel at her. That's what it is to marvel. She outside and she acting up on social media. And fellas, look. I'm a man just like you're a man. We all men. I'm going to tell the truth about our women. Our women are the most beautiful women on the face of the earth.
Right.
By far. Look at this chart. From the Negroes to the West Indians, the Dominicans, Guatemala, the Puerto Rico, Uruguay, Chile, the Seminole Indians, Cubans. Most beautiful women you're going to find on the face of the earth. It's a challenge not to marvel over them in general because they're so beautiful. But when they out here and they moving with an impudent eye, don't marvel over that. When they out here acting like 304s, 403s, how that go? Harlots. Doing it for the gram. Don't marvel over that stuff. All you're gonna do is influence them to keep up the negative behavior, and it comes back around full circle because then you wind up married to one, and then she's that one that puts you out the house. She's that one that puts you on child support. She's that one that now has you not being able to watch over your house. She binds the strong man. You understand? And now the children are easily spoiled. His goods are easily spoiled. So don't marvel over her when she's behaving in that manner. Give me verse 12, sir.
Verse 12. She will open her mouth.
She will open her mouth
As a thirsty traveler.
as a thirsty traveler. A traveler. Think about a traveler, a person out on the road. It get hot out on the road. You're traveling, especially during the times when Ecclesiasticus was written. You wasn't in the car. You didn't have no AC. You're hot. You're sweating. You're out on the road. A thirsty traveler. And what do you do when you get thirsty? You try to find a drink. Continue reading that, sir.
When he had found a fountain.
Okay, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain. Continue.
And drink of every water near her.
And drink every water near, every water. Sisters, you want to drink every water to come near you? Every water, you want to put all that in your body? Every philosophy that comes your way? Every thought, every idea that comes your way, you want to take that on? Continue that, sir.
By every hedge will she sit down.
By every head shall she sit down.
And open her quiver against every arrow.
And open her quiver against every arrow. You know what a quiver is? That's that sack. You ever seen an archer? They keep the arrows in that sack. She'll open that quiver and let every arrow in there. Every arrow gets to come in that quiver. I saw a rapper. I don't know her because I try not to follow these harlots that's out here rapping. I think that they suck. They have no skill. I think that these our enemies are just promoting them because they're trying to destroy our people. But this girl, her name is Diamond the Body. You heard her? I couldn't tell you one of her songs, but I saw her making waves on the internet. Diamond the Body. She was talking about her body count. This girl was saying that this is so extreme, but sisters will probably look at her and be like, aha, I ain't nowhere near her sister. Your numbers are terrible too. But this girl said that she has laid with over 2,000 men in her lifetime. I think she's about 28 years old. She has no skill in her music. The enemies give her a record deal and they put her to the forefront because she influences our daughters to be like her. Like Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I don't know if I should say these names. I don't want to get knocked off a line. You know the tall rapper, the horse, she calls herself after a horse. And you know the other one that calls herself after a color and calls herself sexy. Making songs, F my baby daddy. F my baby daddy. What she say? I'm a down-ass B. I ain't in the house sad or something like that. F my baby dad. She's influencing your daughter. Your daughter listen to those songs and they dancing around, making TikTok videos, just entering into their spirit. Now, so when they get older, they're being trained up in the ways of this world. You understand? And when they get older, they won't depart from that. Like the word said, train them up in the ways of the Most High. So when they get older, they won't depart from that. You got to pick a side, though. You can't be a friend of the world. You brought out James, I think that was James 4:4. You can't play both sides. You're a friend of the world. You're an enemy of the Most High. You got to understand that. Where we at, verse 13? You having sound problems? Give me verse 13 when you can, Baba Kashaw.
Verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband. You know what grace is? Grace. Let me give you some synonyms for grace. That's synonyms for grace. Elegance. Elegance of a wife. To be dignified. A dignified wife. A sophisticated wife. You understand? The grace of a wife delighteth her husband. Continue that, sir.
In her discretion will fatten his bones.
In her discretion, her ability to, the things that come up here, he can keep them in check. She don't got to go blabbing off, running her mouth, spreading demons around. She can keep her thoughts in check. Her discretion will fatten the bones of her husband. It will embolden her husband, make him a bigger man, make him a stronger man. You understand that? Women, do you understand that you are the rib? There's a reason why we call y'all ribs. You're the rib of your husband. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Give me that matter of fact. That's in Genesis 20. That's Genesis 2 and 22. Kana Wakan. Kana Wakan, sir. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. It will embolden him, make him bigger, make him stronger. That's your job. And the bigger he is and stronger he is, the more protection he puts around your house, the better off you are and your children are. It all comes around full circle. Genesis 2 and 22, sir. Fatten his bones. I just found it ironic that the scripture said bones. It used bones. A graceful wife. Kana Wakan.
Genesis chapter 2.
Synonymous with what? With family? Kana Wakan. Kana Wakan. Kana Wakan, sir. Kana Wakan. We're gonna walk right into that too in a few more scriptures. Give me that you got, sir. Kana Wakan.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 22. And the rib which the Lord God gave.
There you go.
The rib which the Lord had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
Hey, give me 23.
Verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone,
Yep.
and flesh of my flesh.
There it is.
She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
There you go. There you go. Go back to where we were in Ecclesiastes. I just wanted to add that. I hope that resonates in your spirit. That's good, Kat. That's another one. I'm adding it to my repertoire. Let's get back to where we were in Ecclesiastes 26. I think we are at verse 13, sir.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
No, just give it to me again. Yeah, Conor McCon.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones.
Continue to 14, sir.
Verse 14. A silent and loving woman.
A silent and loving woman, not a loud mouth. Phew, keep catching myself. I'm on TikTok. Not a loud mouth harlot. Not a loud. TikTok is very sensitive for everybody watching on YouTube. Okay, yeah. Not a loud mouth female pit bull. You understand? The Bible's saying it, and it's a shame that that they want to censor what the Most High has to say. Take it from the top of 14 again.
A silent and loving woman
A silent and loving woman, not a loudmouth dog. Continue.
is a gift of the Lord.
Yes, she is.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Good night. A mind well instructed. Instructed in what? Huh? That's what's important. Instructed in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Instructed in this Bible. That's what the mind needs to be instructed on. You get this Bible in your spirit. You get this Bible here in your mind. Oh, you get it in your children's mind early. They old, they'll never depart from it. They'll always go back to this. But if not, and you bind that strong man, and you want to do it your way, well, your children, they're going to be, no matter how precious they seem now. Think about yourself. You used to seem that precious too when you were the same age as your little babies. If there's a brother listening, and you done had to do time in jail, and you done helped to destroy your community, and you done intentionally made broken homes, there was a time people looked at you as a child and talked about how sweet you were and kind you were and loving and embracing your smile and your hug was. Sister, same thing. People loved to see you coming once when you were a little girl. Everybody trusted you. Everybody wanted you around, wanted you to spend the night. Pack her bag. Let her stay over here and play with my daughter. The same way you got twisted up by the world and you wind up in a harlot house in the 90s and early 2000s selling yourself for $40 for 15 minutes, the children going down that same path. Brother, your son going down that same path. Don't think that you can be out here gangbanging and you look at your son and he seems innocent now. You don't get these laws, statutes, and commandments, he's walking that same path. Continue, sir.
Verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman.
A shamefaced woman, a woman who's not out here being loud and boisterous and doing whatever she wants to do in front of anybody, making up her own mind, marching to the beat of her own drum, being a boss bee. A woman that's not with all that stuff. She's a shamefaced woman. A shamefaced woman. A shamefaced woman and a faithful woman. What is she?
A double grace.
She's not just grace. All those good words that we said about grace, elegant, dignified, tasteful, sophisticated. She's not just those things. She's double those things. She's double those things. It's a beautiful thing to be a shamefaced and faithful woman. You are double grace. Continue, sir.
And her continent mind cannot be valued.
Can't put a value on that mind. You can't put a value on that continent mind. Y'all understand what a continent mind is? Let's make sure you do. Continent mind. Lie, sir. Continent mind. I just wanted to get the definition. I wanted to be clear on it. It says it can refer to an idea of continent mind or the ability to control one's feelings. The ability to control your feelings. Sometimes you ain't gonna have good feelings every day, but you can control those feelings. That's a continent mind. Just because I'm having a bad day, I ain't gonna take it out on everybody who comes in my presence. I'm not gonna be nasty when I go to work. I'm not gonna be nasty to my children. I'm not gonna be nasty to my husband. You understand? I asked AI what is a continent mind. It says in the context of the mind, the term continent can refer to the idea of the continents of the mind or the ability to control one's feelings, particularly sexual desires. That's heavy, huh? And that was verse 15. You got something, sir?
Bible dictionary.
Continent, refraining from unlawful sexual commerce or moderate in the indulgence of lawful pleasure.
That came out of the Bible dictionary. Read it again, sir, please.
Refraining from unlawful sexual commerce
Refraining from unlawful sexual activities
or moderate in indulgence of lawful pleasure.
or you're going to be moderate You ain't just gonna go after every pleasure out there. You're gonna be moderate in that. See, your mind can play tricks on you and make you think that those are the things you need to feel better. And guess what? Confession is good for the soul. Been there, done that. It do make you feel better at the time. It do. But the same way he said that the word said you'll be a double blessing or double grace, on the opposite end as well. It make you feel better at the time, but whatever you was feeling later on, you're going to feel it double. It ain't going nowhere. You just hit it for a minute. We got the 7-year-old coming up. You got something? Go ahead, sir. Rappers go get tattoos. Mm-hmm. Barakatha Yahweh. Barakatha Yahweh by Yahweh. Listen, that's coming out of the mouth of a child. That's coming out of the mouth of a child. These rappers, they want to run out here. They want to get these tattoos and thug it out and gang bang and talk about all this violence and destroying their community. They feel good for a while doing this. The dudes you see out there on the corners with the nice cars and sleeping with all the women, they feel good for a while, but the child, 7 years old, Commander General Yohana, boy, the water Yahweh for that man. This child's 7 years old, man. He's 7 years old. He said next they're going to be waiting for somebody to bail him out of jail, hoping somebody got the money to bail him out of jail. 9 times out of 10, if you get a no bail and you got to do 30 years, all of your so-called friends are going to forget about you. Ask me how I know. Nobody ain't going to write you. Ain't nobody going to come and see you. The harlots are going to move on. There's plenty of arrows out there to go into their quiver. We just read it. This is coming out of the mouth of a 7-year-old. And we got folks out here that listen to the ISUPK, and you call us a hate group. It's a love group. This is all love. Right. Trying to correct our people, bring our people back to the state that the Most High wants us in. I think it's Deuteronomy 7:6, I believe. He wants us above these other nations, not below. But because you keep rejecting him and rejecting this knowledge, he said he'll reject your children. That's what he'll do. You reject me, I will reject your children. If you love your children, you need to get in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana. Not now, but right now. Right. So your child can be like this 7-year-old young lion coming up in his truth. Got to understand that a 7-year-old, for the most, can't understand these prophecies, these scriptures. Now let's stay here in the ISUPK. I'm impressed, Officer Alazar, and the work that you're doing. I am impressed. Drop down and let's get to verse 19. Let's instruct these boys. Since we got a young man in here talking, let's instruct these boys. The men needed some instruction too. Last several verses were on the females. Let's get to these men.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. My son.
Keep the flower of thine age.
Keep the flower of thine age sound.
And give not thy strength to strangers.
Don't give your strength to strangers. Keep the flower of your age. You know what that means? Keep the flower of your age. Don't go out here chasing like you see all these celebrities do. Every time a black man get money, get up in Hollywood, next thing you know, he got a woman of a different race on his arm. For some reason, he can't look at this chart and look at all these beautiful women up here. He can't have one of these women. He runs straight to Esau every time. She's out here getting surgeries, getting injections in her lips, trying to look like the women that's on his chart. She's getting her butt done, trying to look like the women that's on his chart. But that's who you run to every time you get money. That's because you haven't been taught. You haven't been trained up in the way that you should go. It's not necessarily all your fault. Your parents dropped the ball. But if you're a grown adult now, it's time, man, this is why Yahweh Shah did what he did. So we can repent. It's time for change. If you're a grown adult now, this is your time to listen to these scriptures and make a change. Read that again. My son, this is for the men.
Keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers.
Don't give your seed to strangers. Don't do it. That's a commandment. Do it sound funny because you're hearing them say, keep the flower of thine age? You doubting me? You want to fact check me? I fact check myself. Give me Deuteronomy 7:3, sir. I fact check myself. We do precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. I'm paraphrasing. We go all over this Bible to prove this Bible. That's what we do here in the ISUPK. We're not only New Testament. We're not only Old Testament. We got these new cats out here. They trying to build up camps now. They're in-betweeners. You're a joke. You ain't in no covenant, huh? You ain't in the old, you ain't in the new. You just in the middle. We the whole Bible, front to back. Old, new, apocrypha. And we in order. That's what we do here in the ISUPK. You got that, sir?
Yeah. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3.
Take notes. I hope you're taking notes. Write this down. Go back over this later. You're going to need this. You're going to need this when it's time to instruct your children. Read what you got, sir.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Don't make marriages with them. Continue.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Don't take that Edomite woman. Don't take that oppressor's daughter. Don't do it. Don't encourage your son to do it. Don't do it. She only with you, black man, because you got a little bit of money. I'm talking to the celebrities. I'm talking to the ones out in Hollywood. There's a lot of them tune into the ISUPK. Don't be deceived. They shadow banners online. The people tuning in. You see it. Stop being deceived. Stop running out here going to get those oppressors. The Most High said don't do it. Continue, sir.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take until thy son. Verse 4.
Verse 4.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
They turn your children away from the Most High. They'll never get these laws, statutes, and commandments. They'll serve other gods. They'll take on other philosophies, other ways. Bow down to the oppressor's ways. All of his good things that's in him. His whole inheritance will go into another people. You gotta understand that. Is that it on that, sir? Continue then.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
And you're gonna just piss the Most High off. That's what you're gonna do. And that's not the one you want to piss off. Not at all. Go ahead, sir.
And destroy these sons.
Let's get back to where we were. That was just a precept. I just want to make sure I prove what I was saying. We were at verse 20, I believe, sir. Ecclesiasticus 26 and verse 20.
Verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession.
When you've gotten a fruitful possession.
Through all the field. Sow it with thine own seed.
Sow your own field with your fruitful possession. Out of all the sow your own. You put your seed in your own. Continue, sir.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Trust in our women. Look at this sign. Trust in them. Put your seed there. Raise up strong families here. It's bigger than your sexual desires for oppressor's daughter. I heard when they get wet, they smell like dogs anywhere. Continue reading, sir. Verse 21.
Verse 21. So thy race which thou leavest
Mm.
shall be magnified.
Let me pause you right there. The race that you leaveth, that's what you do. As soon as you get on, you get up, you leave your race. The Bible is so direct. You leave your race. Your race ain't good enough for you no more. You've been dealing with your sisters all your life. Now you get on, you get up, black man. Now your race ain't good enough. You leave your race. Take it back from the top of 21 again, sir.
So thy race which thou leavest
that you leave your race.
Shall be magnified.
Our race can be magnified. Stay with your race. Bring them treasures back to our people. Continue, sir.
Having the confidence of their good descent.
You better have confidence in it. This bloodline ain't going nowhere. You going after them oppressors, guess what? They're going to be utterly destroyed. In the times not too far off, they won't even exist anymore. But Israel, we're the world without end. I ain't got time to go into that precept right now. I want to finish what I got. But we're the world without end. Stick with your own people. That's a commandment. That's not me saying. That's thus says the Lord. It's in this Bible over and over and over again. I can give you more precepts, but I ain't going to do it for time's sake. What verse we at, sir?
21.
Verse 21. Give me, go, we finished 21? Okay, give me 21. No, we did do 21. We have verse 22 now, sir.
Verse 22. And harlot
Oh, we back to the harlot again. What is the harlot?
shall be accounted as spittle.
She shall be accounted as spittle. She ain't doo-doo. I'm getting better at catching myself up here, sir. That TikTok got me monitoring myself. TikTok got me in check a little bit. And that's only because we need this message to go out on every platform. Everywhere around the world. Everybody needs to hear this, and the whole world is going to hear it. All four corners of the earth. The harlot shall be accounted as spittle. Spit ain't nothing. I turn around and hawk spit right now on the floor. Ain't nobody like, oh my, I need that spit. Everybody gonna think I'm tripping and probably clean it up. Make me clean it up. Spit is nothing. That's what a harlot is gonna be counted for. So you think that you slick because you're making money on OnlyFans, and you think you slick because you juggling 4, 5, 6 different dudes, and you getting money. They do everything for you. The beauty is gonna fade. And what you gonna have then? Continue, sir.
But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
A married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Let's give a warning to these men again. Back to the men. This ain't just on the women. This is on the men. You see how I'm jumping back and forth? You see how the Bible is jumping back and forth? Verse 23, sir.
Verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
A wicked woman is given to a wicked man. So fellas, teach your sons to be good men. Teach them these laws, statutes, and commandments so they won't go out here and fall for the trap of these wicked women. Because if you don't teach them how to be good men, they're going to wind up with wicked women. These wicked women are going to have them, what did we say earlier? What happens to the strong man? They get binded up. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get binded up, and the children will be spoiled. That's what happens. Take that from the top, sir. We at 23, sir. Yep.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
But what about the godly woman?
But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
A godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Fellas, teach your sons to fear the Lord so they can get themselves a godly woman. So they have peace in their house. So you can see your grandchildren whenever you want to see your grandchildren. Not at the jail, but at the dinner table. You understand? So that we can all go to Passover together. So we can be in the kingdom together. Teach your children these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's going to come back around full circle. You don't believe me now? Just watch. Give it some time. Give it some time. And like the 7-year-old young lion in the school said, give it some time. And you're going to see yourself in the grave, in the jail, at home, lonely, regretting your decisions, not able to control your children, not knowing where your children are, burying your children, not your children burying you. That came from a 7-year-old. And you don't think the ISUPK under Commander Junior Hunt is where you need to be? You are a fool. You are a fool. And I love you, and I'm telling you that because I love you. Give me verse 24, sir.
A dishonest woman.
A dishonest woman.
Contentment. Shame.
Shame.
But an honest woman will reverence her husband.
An honest woman gonna reverence her husband. But a dishonest woman, she contemneth shame. Verse 25, sir.
Verse 25. A shameless woman
A shameless woman,
will be counted as a dog.
she'll be counted as a dog. She'll be counted as a B-I, you know the rest of the letters. I'm on TikTok, though. A shameless woman going to be counted as those 5 letters. Start with a B. It's coming from the mouth of God, not me. Not man. I didn't write this. Priests and prophets of the Lord wrote this, inspired by God, inspired by the Most High. This is His word. You be a shameless woman when it's time to count us. You're gonna be counted as what you acting like. A bad B. That's what you're gonna be counted as. You don't want that. You don't want that. All these bad B's that we see on TV today that everybody look up to in 2024, go find them in 2034. Look at the ones who everybody looked up to. Look at the girls that was in all the music videos back in the early 2000s. All the video vixens. Remember them? Go find them video vixens. They're suffering right now. What you got, sir? You got something, sir?
When you think about it, like, look at the condition and the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what they want. It say a shameless woman should be counted as a dog. Women love to say that they a bad bitch.
Ain't it?
And they shameless.
And they shameless.
They don't have no shame. They counting. They telling you how many women, how many bodies they got.
Over 2,000.
Man, that's crazy.
Come on. You laying down with, you taking every arrow in your quiver. Sometimes you don't even know these N-words names. This thing over here got me in check. Sometimes you don't even know these dudes' names that you take every quiver. Take every arrow into your quiver. You got to do better, women. You got to choose better. You got to choose better. You got to put a good man in your house so you can follow him. A good man that follows the Most High. So you can follow him and follow him comfortably and know he's leading you to the right place. A good man is not the man who getting money all the time. Y'all look at the material things because that's what the world tell you to look at. You want to look at the material things? You want to look at money? Huh? So you would think you was winning if you landed P. Diddy 1,000 listen, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I shouldn't laugh. Y'all read that? When they raided his house, 2 homes. How do you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube in 2 homes? What type of alternative? I can't even say the words. Come on. But y'all think that that's what a good man is, the one that's getting money. The one that's getting the fast money on the corner, buying you all the bags and the shoes that you want. Until like the 7-year-old lion said he's in jail or unalive. Cat. Yeah, high value man. Good night. Good night. That's what y'all want. Y'all want a high-valued man. It comes around full circle. For time's sake, let's get ready to close this thing. Give me Psalms 37. Psalms 37. Psalms 37. 37 and verse 23. 37 and verse 23. Get a good man. The Bible tells you what a good man is. Lord laid it out for you. He didn't want it to be a mystery. He don't want you going in your own mind trying to figure it out because you can't figure it out. That's why you got multiple baby daddies now. That's why there's been so many arrows in your quiver now. That's why you've been to the clinic that's not open that can't treat STDs anymore. You've been there before. That's why you've been there because you don't know how to choose a good man. The Bible told you how to choose a good man. Give me what you got, sir.
Daryl in 2011 said that's just nasty.
That is totally nasty.
Ain't nobody that ash.
Ain't nobody that ain't that much ash in the world. Sis, you're right, sis. Give me Psalms 37 and verse 23, sir.
This is Psalm 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
You want to know if you got a good man or not? Look at how he moves. See if he follows that, what was that? That 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. See if he follows that order. Christ, man, woman. You understand? Most High, Christ, man, woman. His steps going to be ordered by the Lord. Continue.
And he delighteth in his way.
And he liked that. That's a good thing to him. He wants the correction. He wants the Lord to tell him how to move. He follows orders from people who follow orders from the Lord. You understand? Keep reading, sir.
Verse 24. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down.
He might fall. You might see him down for a minute, for a small time. But guess what? Continue.
For the Lord upholdeth him with his hand.
He going to get back up because the Lord is on his side. But the high-valued man, if Diddy goes to jail in the feds, like R. Kelly in the jail, he ain't coming out. You keep chasing behind that. Last one, give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. I hope that you learned something from today's class. How a good husband is to behave, a good wife is to behave, how you're supposed to raise your children. I got one more comment from the 7-year-old young lion. What you got, sir? Not to be disrespectful to the women. They want to be with all the rappers with the tattoos and the money. You're exactly right, sir. You are exactly right. And when he wind up in jail, you're going to need that money to try to get that man out. 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to be able to get him out. You got to go find yourself another man, and another man, another man, another arrow into that quiver. Constant cycle. Rod after rod after rod. We give you some marching orders today. I hope you should know this by now. You should have figured it out by now, what you need to do to be a good wife, sister, and what you need to do to be a good husband, brother, what you need to do for your children. By now, you should have figured it out. But if you haven't, we're going to close off with this one right here. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
Read it with a loud voice, sir.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
This is the end of class. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. What do you do now? Everybody on TikTok, what do I do now? Everybody on YouTube, what do I do now? Everybody on Facebook, what's next? I heard all this tonight. It all made sense. He spoke directly to my situation, to my past, to my present. I'm looking at my children. I feel like he's speaking to my future. What do I do now?
Fear God.
Fear God.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments.
For this is the whole duty of man.
That's the whole duty of man. That's the whole duty of woman. That's the whole duty of child. Understand that. And with that, we had the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been bringing you this truth. This ain't nothing new. Since 1969, those generals, they've been doing it. We just following suit right now. You late. It's time to catch up. Getting this truth now. Or like the 7-year-old young lion told you, you're going to regret it later. So with that, I'm going to pass the class over to precinct officer Alazar.
These are the security announcements. You got the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to shed themselves. It's like they are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6-month period in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. And Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. Remind Akim and Akwatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he has to start wearing all black, which means black boots, shirt, pants, headbands, or scarf. So like, yeah, and we got Holy Convocation, we got the memorial blowing the trumpet. What day is that? October 2nd, 2024. God. And with that, we're gonna get one courteous salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Amayim, which means to stand. Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Rakatah, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Rakatah, Yajimata, class dismissed.